It's a celebration, y'all. Oh yeah, we coming out of this thing. It's my season. It's your season. It's the people of the Lord season. Come on, somebody. So get up and rejoice with me. Be not afraid, for the Lord never leaves his child forsaken. Ooh, don't throw in the towel. Stay in the race, and you will overcome the time it's taken. Ooh, you won't be denied. Oh, don't lose your faith. Stay prayed up, and always remember. Send some prayed up. We're coming out, and we'll blossom in our season. Be blessed, it's your season. I know it's been a long time, but you shout to bring you now. Shout for that reason. It looks a little gray, but rejoice anyway. Hear the voice of triumph. Speak loud, speak loud. Now sing the praise of Zion. Come on, sing your way out of it. I know for the night season is over now. Ooh, now float in your joy. The eye of the Lord is on the righteous and they cry. Stay prayed up. Tell them all about. Send some prayed up. We're coming your season. Be blessed, it's your season. Come on, come on. Now shout for that freedom. I'll shout in your face. You better move. Hear the voice of triumph. Speak loud, speak loud. Now sing the praise of Zion. Don't be defeated in the time of storm. Be strong. Hold on. Let not your heart be troubled or afraid. Wants to kill and destroy. Be steadfast and rejoice. Bless the Lord, it's your season. Bless the Lord. Come on, let me hear you. Bless the Lord, it's your season. Bless the Lord. Bless the Lord, it's your season. Bless the Lord. Bless the Lord, it's your season. Bless the Lord. Be blessed, it's your season. Now shout for that reason. I feel that thing. Come on. Hear the voice of triumph. Stay in his word, live in his word. Now sing the praise of Zion. Rejoice and be glad in it. Be blessed, it's your season. Anybody feel blessed? Now shout for that reason. This is a real good time to dance. Hear the voice of triumph. Speak loud, speak loud. Now sing the praise of Zion. If you believe it, lift him up. Be blessed, it's your season. Dance on. Oh yeah, you got it right. For that reason. Stop sitting on his premises and stand on his promise. Hear the voice of triumph. Listen to it. Listen to his word. Now sing the praise of Zion. Come on, Zion.
Anybody ever been here? I just want to take a little time and speak my piece.
Every day's a rat race, moving at a fast pace, y'all. Never seem to get a break, never seem to get away, no. If it ain't working hard, it's being a dad or mom. I'll be the first to admit I'm neglecting the relationship. I'm not talking to you, or spending time with you like I should. Forgive me, I'll get better. I'm not perfect, but I'm trying. When you needed me, there's a few times I did not come running. I'm not perfect, but I'm working. When you wanted more, I would give you less, and Lord, I'm sorry. I'm not perfect, but I'm getting closer. The more that I know, please give me another chance. I'm not perfect, but I'm better than I was on yesterday.
Every time I think about the times you bailed me out, God,
You've been so good to me.
I just wanna scream and shout. If it ain't a conference call or playing basketball, I may forget I'm a different man. Doing the best I can.
When you needed me, there's a few times I did not come running.
When you wanted more, I would give you less, and Lord, I'm sorry.
You're the one I love the most. Forget to say I love you always. Have you looked beyond my pride inside and blessed me anyway and loved me? I'm not perfect. You gave your life to me. So how can I act like I always? Make me come back to you. Anyway, forgive me. Lord, I'll never turn my back on you again. When you needed me, there's a few times I did not come running.
When you wanted more, I would give you less, and Lord, I'm giving a little bit to me, Lord. Sorry.
Getting closer. The more that I know, please give me another chance.
Give me another chance. I'm trying.
But I'm working. I'm not perfect, but I'm getting closer. The more that I know you. I'm not perfect, but I'm better than I was on yesterday.
What kind of God can make the morsels of snow fall from a gray sky?
Hello, hello, hello. You are live and tuned into Happy Hour with Angel and Audrey. Good evening.
Hi guys.
Tonight we're sharing a mic.
Yes,
so,
we are. It's a little bit.
Yes, so please bear with us. We are so glad you can join us, and it feels so good to be back in the studio. For you first-time listeners, this is a topical show injecting the word of God and creating a platform for conscious thinking.
That is correct, and we definitely go where, shows don't go. We bring you hot topics and discussions for you to get stuck into on love, crime, relationships, money, entrepreneurs, business, whatever you can think of. Happy Hour discusses it right here.
Oh, yes. And
Yes,
tonight we have got some very special, I'm about to go American, where do we get got from?
Some very
We got some very special guests in the studio.
Yes, we do. And there's plenty more of them that will come in. So that's very good. We've got a surprise for you.
We do. And we will definitely introduce them to you later on in the show. But until then, guys, we want you to get involved. We want you to let us know your thoughts. So please follow along. You can follow on Twitter, which is at COPUK Radio, #HHTZ. If you are following us live on Facebook, we would like to shout you out and say good evening, hello. Please leave your comments below. And actually, we have got some brand new software, guys. We're streaming live on YouTube as we speak. So if you've got a friend that's not into Facebook and not into Twitter, just tell them to head over to YouTube, and it's COPUK Radio, and you can join us live also.
That is correct. We're back after another 2 weeks.
Yes.
We know you missed us, so we came back with 3 for the price of 1.
We came back 3 for the price
It's 3 for the price of 1.
Yes.
But before we get, we meet our guests. Angel, how was your week?
My week was good. It was good. Yeah, I caught up with 7 Seconds. Actually finished it. I watched.
Okay, I've seen it. I haven't started yet.
Yeah, I watched literally 4 episodes. I went to bed 6 a.m. in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah, I was
Must be
literally
very good.
binging of the show.
Okay.
So yeah, it's definitely it's good. It's a bit like EastEnders. Like,
Okay.
you've got a really great episode and then a not so great episode,
Okay,
and then
okay.
it kind of just takes its time to get into it. But definitely one to recommend. 7 Seconds, guys. If you're on Netflix, go and watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did see it. So I will definitely be watching it this next week or maybe this week. Actually, no, during the Easter holidays I'll be on there. I'll be watching it.
How was your week?
My week wasn't bad. I spent the week as well binging. I watched the whole season of Jessica Jones, season 2. I think it was like 13 episodes. Yeah, I watched it in a few days, 2 days I think. So yeah, that was what I did for the week. I
What
really
did you
enjoyed
watch?
it. Jessica Jones.
Okay.
It's a Marvel series.
Right.
Shout out to my Marvel fans. Yeah, and that was very, very good. There were parts that were a bit like, it's a bit surreal, or it's a bit too fake, but yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I think it's good, and I think it speaks to the times right now, actually, in terms of some of the topics that they dealt with, especially women empowerment. So I thought that was good, and yeah, I enjoyed it. So I think I spent the week. Yeah, that's all I did really. I watched Netflix for the whole week.
That's bad.
I know.
Okay, I did the same, but LOL.
Sometimes you got to,
You got to. Sorry, this is just like right there for no reason. Yeah. So guys, we want to know how your week was. Maybe something random, exciting or strange happened to you. Let us know how your week went. You can tweet your thoughts at COPUK Radio, #HHTZ. If you're following us live on Facebook, leave your comments in the comment section. And also, if you are following us on YouTube, we'd like to say hello. Please leave your comments and we will have a minute to read them out also. During our last show, we had my runway group.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Amazing. It was so much fun. It's always fun when my runway comes in.
Definitely.
It was so good. And they talked about knife crime, and they talked about a show coming up tomorrow, actually, guys, at the Soapbox, called Skin Deep.
Yes.
And yeah, no, it was a very good show. I actually got feedback saying it was one of the best shows. So I think we tapped into a real big sensitive topic, and we're going to explore it. We're going to explore it very, very, very soon. So guys, get your tickets. Get your tickets on myrunwaygroup.com. You can get your tickets for tomorrow's live discussion. I guess it is a live discussion. Yeah, and our very own Angel is hosting it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm hosting tomorrow, so please come down. It should be a good one. Shout out to my runway group for all the work you lots are doing. And yeah, as I said, guys, if you are following us, please leave your comments below and we'll read them out later on in the show. We're gonna get stuck into it.
Yes, we are.
So we have another amazing group in the studio tonight. They've travelled all the way down from southwest London just to tell us a little bit about who they are and what they're doing, and just to really read quickly about who they are. So literally this week and in the latter end of last week, Audrey's been doing some amazing promotion about the group. But if you have missed it all on social media, don't worry, I'm about to read and introduce them for you. So the Sapphire Group seeks to help young people find out what they're meant to be doing in life through mentoring, coaching, publishing literature, film and media, technological development and workshops. That's a lot. Where have you guys been hiding? Goodness. And today we have Jasmine Cannon. She's the founder, and also she's joined by 2 cast members, Reem and Tevin. Okay, we got it wrong, but they're going to introduce themselves in a moment. They had to switch up the cast members. Last minute, yes. And today they're about to talk to us about their upcoming project.
Yeah. So
Yes.
we'd like to welcome you guys. It's a very special.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. You're most welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here with us today. And just to get started, can you tell us a bit about the Sapphire Community Group?
Boy, where do I start? So Before it was Sapphire Community Group, it was called Sapphire Ministries,
Okay.
and I launched it in 2015. And what happened was I named it Ministries, but I limited it because
Right.
the aim of it was to reach global in the world. So I changed it, rebranded last year to the Sapphire Community Group. And the goal is that I know what it feels like when the world has given up on you and when the world calls you worthless. So I'm kind of giving hope to young people through media, writing, film, you name it. You have potential within you.
Wow.
And what happens in our world is that they feel like they've been hidden for so long that no one even notices that they're there. And sometimes their past has dictated their future that they're not able to live. So Sapphire has one goal. It's to bring out that which is in you that you don't realize. We want to birth forth purpose in you, make you great. That's our number one purpose. I don't care what you do, whether it's photography, you name it. We will make you great through that. With the little resources we have, we would invest in your dreams, invest in your visions, because we believe in you and we want to give you hope.
Wow.
So Sapphire is that.
That's what I just want to go like that. We can just drop the, we can actually just end tonight or go home like.
Well, you kind of answered my next question.
Okay, cool.
But I guess you could give us a bit more insight into your mindset as to why this particular project or this particular company was so important to you,
Okay.
and where it kind of came from, where the idea came from.
So is it the film or the company in general, like everything?
I'll probably say the company first,
Okay.
and then maybe we could talk about
So Sapphire is me. So like it's my story, it's my journey, it's going through the struggle of life and not having that support system. So you're either made for education, being in an African household, you be the doctor, be
lawyer.
the lawyer, that's
Right,
it.
right.
But what happens to your creative style? By the way, I have done my MBA background and everything, but I still have a creative side that no one helped me cater to. I was overlooked on society. There wasn't mentoring back in my days. There wasn't coaching to help you support your dreams with funding, with ideas. So I saw the world and I tried to find something like that for me, but I didn't find it out there. And what happens when you look in the world and you don't find it? You're meant to start it. So it was a struggle, but I realized that young people need this. They need a home, they need an anchor, they need hope, they need a future. They have all these ideas, but they don't know what to do with it. So we as Sapphire is my story, because I didn't have that pillar, I didn't have that support, and I want to be the voice to the voiceless.
Wow.
So it's my story, it's my pain, it's my past, and it kind of birthed forth purpose. And I see these young people and I see there's a future out there for them, and I want to be able to help them, get them off the streets, reduce crime by getting them doing productive things. Wherever it may be, I can help you. So I do mentoring, coaching sessions with them, poetry sessions, performing arts, media. I study all domestic violence, you name it. I've done many qualifications on that. I'm a consultant by day, so I still work in the aspect of starting up your own business. So
Okay.
stuff like that with young people.
Wow.
So what do you guys think of our threat to them?
Well, before I get into that, I just wanted to say that everything that Sapphire is about, Jasmine's about. She's got her finger in all these pies in technology, media,
Right.
literacy, publishing. She's done it all. But for me, Sapphire was about finding myself. I lacked a lot of comfort. I didn't have much confidence before I came into Sapphire, and through their poetry sessions, which involved acting, writing, performing. Like, I came out of my shell and I met amazing people. I've met Jasmine, she's an amazing person. So yeah, it was what it was to me.
Amazing. Got anything to add?
Yeah, no. They've already said most of the stuff.
Don't try it, Tom.
All I wanted to say is Sapphire is basically about hidden talents. Like, I used to be the type, because I love to act, but I used to be the type that I'll act like in front of the mirror, I'll laugh, I'll do some stupid stuff. Then when I get told to act in front of people, I'll be so shy. But the moment I did this, I don't know what happened. Like, it's just like a transformation.
Wow.
Like, I just really can't wait for you guys to see this movie, because I see different types of things in life. Like, maybe you might not relate to some. You might relate to some of the stuff, but you won't relate to all of it. If you know what I mean? Yeah.
Right.
But I think, sorry.
No, go.
I think that's like the magic of it. It's like introducing you to new ideas, new things.
That's amazing. I was just gonna say, I think your platform is great, because I was actually having a conversation, and I work in the school, and I was having a conversation with some of the students, and a lot of them, they get in trouble. But once you start actually speaking to them, you find out there's reasons behind, you know, why they're seen as troublemakers, I guess. And a lot of them were like, you know, they don't have anywhere to go. They just hang around, you know, with with people that influence them badly, and they know that they're bad influences, but they have nowhere else to go. So your platform is very, very important, I would say, in this generation. And so thank you.
No, I haven't even tapped the surface. It's just that they've reduced the amount of community centres. So if you look back in our days, we had many social clubs after school, cool kids, you name it, we were there. Now they don't have where to go. They've literally dropped all the community centre buildings. There's no after school activities for them or that interest them. So I really need to work harder. Our generation needs to stand up and kind of take our place and cultivate hope for these young souls that are coming forth in a social era where that is their life now.
Wow. I think before I move on to my question, I think you've half answered, because we want to get intimate. Those of us who are watching, who at some point will purchase the ticket to come and watch the show. You mentioned that the story or the Sophia group has been birthed from your past, your pain, your story. If you don't mind, could you tell us even a tad bit, what is your story? Why were you so compelled to actually go, do you know what, I need to do this?
Okay. The story is a long one, but I grew up in Southeast London, but I'm not going to lie, I had the best of the best. So I was in private school in Kent, girls' boarding school. But I think that made me more rebellious in an aspect of, and then me and my family went for a financial dip. And I met some friends around who were of the streets life, the drugs, fights, you name it. We sold all, whether it be moving girls, you know. I found purpose in the streets. I found a home in the streets. When I was in school, I felt out of place. I felt like I didn't quite belong, and I struggled in schoolwork. So I found that I was good with my hands. And but what I didn't realize is that before it got to that part, let me rewind. I was raped at the age of 9 by 2 men and a woman. So that kind of was a ripple effect. And then you have these reasons why you're lashing out, these reasons why you're kind of hidden, why you're hidden from the world, because you have all these scars inflicted. And the only way to kind of get power, which was demented, was in going in the streets, was in doing the drugs, was feeling part of a gang, was leading a gang. And I met these boys who were like my older brothers, my gods. And then after that, I had girls running for me, money moves, you name it, carrying guns, country moves. That was me. That was JC. So my identity was JC. That's what they called me, Jasmine Cannon. And people looked up to me. That gave me power. That gave me self-worth. And it's demented. And the devil kind of uses that. And that is who I thought my identity was. Going forth to that rewind, I now began to find companionship with women. So that was my story. I came from moving the drugs to running the girls to having girlfriends to nearly getting married to one, and I was lost. I was completely lost to the world. I didn't know who I was, you know. I was broken. People had taken so much from me that the only way to get who I was to seek power and all these sort of drugs, and drunk out of my face for hours, taking coke for long hours, and I had no purpose. I couldn't find a way out. And you know when you're screaming but no one can hear you, and you're in this perpetual darkness and there's no way out nor through. And what's funny is my mum and my sister have always been in the church. They've always been singing of this God. But I was angry of, if there's a God, how can you allow your children to suffer? How can you allow the 9-year-old to get taken her virtue, her value, and you did nothing? How can I believe in a God that if you are really a God, how did you allow your children to suffer? And to me, that was inflicted in the back of my mind, and that was a ripple effect. But what I've come to realize is that it was all excuses. You can choose to take ownership of your life. You can choose to be the difference in our world. But I allowed my past and pain inflicted and the abuse to dictate my future. So I ran the streets, I ran the girls, and it was a very hard life to come out of. And I felt like I finally had control of myself with them. But down the line, I don't know how, there's very long stories, trust me, I'm not going to bore you. But it's my sister, so she loves this Bethel music and Hillsong. And I remember her playing it one time in the car, and I just started crying. Because you know when you ran for so long, and my bishop and everyone, because I always still used to go to church. From a night out in Soho, I would still come to church, gone out of my face. And it was just one time like, God, I surrender everything. Like, I've ran for so long, and it made me go to prison nights. Everything I did wrong, people would get away with it. But the minute I did something wrong, there'll be ripple effects. Me getting locked up by the police, you name it. My things never were straight. So I was like, my mum will always tell me, baby, if you don't surrender to God, there'll be ripple effects. So eventually I started listening to Hillsong. I started listening to Bethel, talking to my sister more, who's my best friend. We're 1 year apart. Yeah, it was a long story.
Wow.
But I've met somebody, I started writing. That's where I found the ability to express myself. So writing, I thought I was a singer. That was terrible. Started doing poetry, started doing spoken word. I actually started spoken word in gay bars. And then eventually I began to know God and know that this ability of mine wasn't mine but his. Started acting, doing performing arts, and I realized there was more I wanted to do. I wanted a mentor, I wanted a coach. All of these stuff wasn't there. And I started to delve with a deeper relationship with God, with my bishop, the mentoring program in church. And I just fell in love with him. I found my identity, I found acceptance, I found out who I was in him. Everything made sense. You know when you run for so long and you're finally home, I found somewhere that I felt free. I felt free to be myself. I felt accepted. And I said, you know what? I don't want other young people to go through this. We're going to break the cycle. We're going to break the generational curse of going round in circles. Young people will come to know who they are. And I don't care what it takes me, but I'm going to break this. They're going to stand up as leaders. They're going to rise and take their place, because I don't want them to live in perpetual pain. And the thing is, you don't have the support to be able to talk about it. It becomes inflicted and you start lashing out. So I want to get them from the young. That's why we start from 13. Start working on them. Start having that coaching support classes so they can talk. That's why we do mental health. I do everything. So I can kind of work on them from the young and break the cycle. And our past doesn't dictate our future. So yes, something may have happened to you. It's not an excuse. There's more to it. There's a future for you. There's hope. And the thing is, no one's speaking life into a broken culture anymore. We're just letting them do that and walk away. I'm going to go into the trenches. I'm going to go into deepest pits so I can get those souls that need him. They need love. They don't need judgment. They just need love. They need coaching. They need supporting. They need mentoring. And I'll go wherever he needs me to go so I can reach them.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. And that came right from your belly. I know that came deep from within, and thank you so much for sharing that. And
so good.
I guess what I've taken away, I mean, I don't want to change our interview. You know, sometimes I can go a bit off topic. You have really, you have spoken to that person that feels like there's no point in living anymore. That's what you've just done. And I'm praying that whoever is listening, who has just heard your voice, that becomes their exit, because you have literally demonstrated that regardless of what life and evil people may throw at you, you can still get back up and you can still take it by the horns. And not only that, but you can drag other young people with you. So I have to give you a round of applause for that.
Yeah, me too.
She said me too. You are awesome. Wow.
And just to add to that, before Angel asking this question, a lot of times because we're youth, you know, we want to explore everything, and sometimes that means that we make mistakes, or sometimes that means that we fall into things that we're not supposed to do. And you talked about, you know, the gangs and the drugs and all of that, and I just wanted to say, like, all the things that you went through was for this moment. All the things that you went through was for you to be the one who could relate to the young people, you know, touch them in a way that we can't, or touch them in a way that the older people can't. So as much as your past has been as horrific as it has been, you made it. And because you're here, because you're here, you can now give something of yourself, and that's amazing. So thank you for sharing. For sharing, it wasn't easy.
Yeah, you done that well. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so back to my script, guys.
I'll attempt to stay on.
Right. Okay. So something that's been in the news or in articles. In an article published in September 2017, the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, said that the UK is failing children who will grow up in a world where the gap between the richest and the poorest part of the country is significant and destabilizing. So in areas like Ladbroke Grove, where we have, really posh built places, and then literally across the street you've got literally ghettos, you've got estates, you've got tall high-rise buildings where it has no lift and you've got to walk down 100 flights of stairs. My question is, as an advocate for youth and for young people, how do you think we can close that gap I know you've said, you've literally already answered this question, but if we want to delve into that sphere as well, can the gap ever be closed?
Yeah, but I think we're also focused on the physical gap, but I think the gap really is within and in our mindset.
Wow.
So if we change that, there is no limit to what we can't do. So the problem is we're so focused on our surroundings and trying to aspire to what they have. If we look within, look at what we have and look at what's in our hand, we can exceed the gap. So that's the problem we have. We're focused on the external rather than the internal. So the mind is everything. So what I'm trying to do is influence your mind. And when you see a different perspective of the world, you would know that you can dominate anything. You can change the rules. The CEO can be you.
Right.
And the problem is we're so focused on our past, our childhood, our environment, that we don't want to step out and be the difference. So I'm just trying to influence them and mentor them on within. And building those gifts, building those callings within them to be able to dominate that gap. I don't want a gap. I want a united world where there's no differences, where everyone is one. So that's what we're striving for at Sapphire.
So it's a mind thing.
It's a mind thing.
It's an inside thing.
It's the inside.
Wow. Perfect. Okay, that was well answered actually. So to our cast members, could you tell us a little bit about your the roles you play and what you guys actually hope to translate through your character?
Alright, let me go. The role I play is a character named Nubs.
Okay.
I'm trying to be a bad boy and at the same time secretly trying to be good. Okay. So I've got 2 baby mamas. everybody hates to hear that part, but yeah, I've been in prison. I just came out. I'm trying to live this. I'm trying to live 2 lives. I sell drugs at the same time. I'm trying to look for work. I'm trying to take care of my kids, take care of my baby mamas. What else can I say about my character? There's one baby mama that I treat really nice, and there's another one that I treat like crap. I smack her around when she does. Yeah. and the other one I love to death. So I'm just trying to be the type that most people in life definitely relate to this character when you definitely see it.
Okay.
I wasn't actually involved in the acting side of the film, but I was involved in helping out backstage.
Okay.
So I'd be in charge of making sure that people got to their locations, making sure that people knew that they were doing, just making sure everyone was in the right place at the right time. So yeah.
That was a big job. You did all finances as well, didn't you?
I did a little bit of finance.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
I mean, it takes a team.
Everyone, trust me.
You seem like you could do that, which is very and especially I think at a young age, being involved in so many different areas.
Yeah.
It's something that can help you move into any area.
Exactly.
So so well done for that. And it's not easy, so well done.
It gives you experience for just things in general. I'm very good with organising stuff now. I've had that experience, and that's what I like about Sapphire.
Right.
It gives you the experience to do things that when you want to go and do something else, you've already got those skills there.
Exactly.
So you just go ahead and do it.
Yeah, you're not scared of anything, just go straight for it. Well done. Right, so now I want to talk about the masterpiece and, you know, the production and the trailer. First of all, well done. very good. And I guess it gives us a bit of insight into what we can expect. But why did you particularly decide to have, you know, violence, abuse, brokenness in this? Why now, and why is it so important?
Because if you look at now, those are the most outlying issues that young people are facing in relationships in our world, and especially my story. I was the oppressor, so I was the opposite end, by the way. But this is your story, this is her story, this is his story, this is my story. And the thing is, the time to speak out is now, and we have to address these issues and hopefully generate awareness so we can break the cycle. And it's being unafraid to speak out. So even though it shows the violence, it's trying to break the norms, because this is not acceptable anymore. We can't keep going in a world of perpetual violence. It gets to a point where enough is enough. Do we take our stand to be the difference in our world? Do we love on people? Because also I've realized that it's also mental health issues, which you'll see in the film. There's many factors. It's been an abusive past with family, who knows what could have happened, but we have to be able to speak out rather than take it out on other people. But there's quite a lot of things in there. So we talk about the disabled community, how they're outlooked as well. There was a girl with a deformed face. So we tell her story on how they're treated in society, on how they're completely misregarded and bullied. So we cover every issue that young people face in life, religion aspects, racism. We cover all of those central topics so we can break them down and reconstruct our world.
So do you think the answer to rebuilding and reconstructing is being transparent?
Definitely, transparency is a key part. So the thing is, we're not all speaking about it, sharing our pain, sharing our stories, so we can work out together. Because you might have a key secret that I didn't realize. Your story, your transparency could help me. So Masterpiece is really the voice of the voices, speaking out on the issues us young people are facing today. The time is now. We don't know if we have tomorrow. We're living life like we have years. The time is now. And so
facts. Yeah,
very true. And just before we get into where we can purchase our tickets, why Masterpiece as a title?
It's a masterpiece. Literally, how it happened was I had a dream, and how God showed me there was like loads of talents, and like it was everything in one. And he was like, I called you a masterpiece. I can't explain it, but he said that we're so perfectly crafted, so many different skills, so many talents, so many different stories, and in your struggles, your pain, all of that, you form a masterpiece. You may think the world defined you as broken, but there's actually more to you. That is your story, that is your strength, that's the reason you're standing. Your pain is led to purpose. Your mess led to a message. In that, you birth forth a masterpiece. I can't explain it, but it was just.
You just explained it.
Okay. Sometimes I feel like I don't talk with clarity. But,
So we're so excited for Masterpiece. And I know everyone out there's like, how do I get my ticket? When is it? What do I do? How do I see this amazing, you know, play? So could you tell us a bit about how you get your tickets, where it's held, the date, the time?
Yeah, we got a website called Eventbrite. That's it, right? Eventbrite. Yeah, you can purchase your tickets on there, or if not, you can. If you know someone or you know any connections through the movie, you can get it through them.
Okay.
Also, you can go on Sapphire Community website and you can purchase the tickets through there.
Thank you.
Okay. And it's on the 30th of March at the Stratford East Picture House.
That's right.
E15.
Yeah.
And time?
8 p.m.
Sharp, guys. 8 p.m. sharp.
You guys don't want to miss it. It's going to be amazing.
All black formal, by the way. All black attire. So should be good.
Very good.
Food, drinks included. Yeah, so it's the whole lot. Yeah.
Hey, guys,
Special
make
guests
sure.
as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Diary, Bennett, whatever.
You two are gonna be there, right?
Gotta go.
Yes.
Yeah?
Was it 30th of March?
March, yeah.
When's that?
Friday night.
That's alright.
Okay.
Double check that.
Okay.
If we have anyone watching, any young person, even older person, and they're very creative and they want to get involved, or they feel like they've got a hidden talent somewhere but they don't know how to utilize it, or perhaps someone has crushed their kind of dreams and they think that, do you know what, there's no point, but they've listened to this interview today, whoops, and they want to get involved, how can they hook up with you guys?
Please, we have loads. So if they just go on Sapphire Community Group, on the website there's a page that says volunteers, apprenticeships, interns. You could go on there. We welcome all talents, all skills. We need everything on board, but I need people who are willing to make an impact, who go above and beyond. So if you're coming to me, I'm passionate, I'm driven, but I'll make sure I get you to where I know you can be. So all on the website, every single thing's on there.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And can you please just reconfirm, how do we connect with you? Socials.
All social medias, the Sapphire Community Group, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So you can find us on there, on our website. And also when you go on the website, there's my email page. I'm trying to be really good at communication. So you could go on there if anything I can help you do, get you a mentor, whatever. So we're all there. I'm trying to get us 24 hours as well. And then the centre will be opened in Old Street next month. So it's going to be like a pop-in. Anytime come in, we should be there. So that's the plan.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Moving on and on.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah.
So after this film production, what's next? Or you can't reveal?
Oh my gosh.
I've got like 20 films around
She's
in my
been,
head.
she's been hinting me
There's
about
a
a
new
lot.
one this year.
Okay.
after.
No. Let's get this straight. She's got so many different things going on. She's got poetry groups, God warrior sessions, ballet dances, stuff in Nigeria. I can go on. I have an A4 piece of paper at home, and the whole page is full of stuff that she's doing.
Wow.
Yeah, even before we started filming Masterpiece, she's been hinting me a lot about other stuff that I can't even relate to. Like, it's like, just slow down. Let's do at least one thing, then we do the other first. Like,
You can do 20 things at once.
Exactly what Jasmine thinks.
So, yeah, I'm a pusher.
That's good. It's good to always have constantly flowing ideas. You know,
That's
it's
amazing.
a good thing.
But it's
That's
how
amazing.
I think it's how Sapphire manages to reach so many people,
Right.
because like for me, the poetry groups really speak to me, but I know for like my friends it might be like the acting or even like some people like administration, but yeah.
I need that.
So yeah, it's just it has its fingers in so many different pies, and I think that really like helps reach out to so many different people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow, what an interview.
Yes.
It's been awesome. Yes. Guys, wow.
Yes. Just gonna say thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so
you.
much for coming in.
Thank you for having
It's amazing to see young people doing something. You know, it's amazing to watch, even just you guys talking about it. There's excitement in your voice, you're smiling, you know, it's something that you're passionate about.
Yes.
And I think that's something that we don't really see that much, or we're passionate because we see how it should be. But you guys are actually showing that, you know, you can do
Making
it. It's
movements.
not a myth, or it's not too far away that you know. And so thank you so much for coming in,
okay.
for sharing your story, for allowing us in a little bit, you know, into what you do. So guys, purchase your tickets right now. Go on social media, whatever it is. Email me, message me, whatever it is. Get your tickets. You cannot miss this amazing production. 30th of March at Stratford East Picture House.
Yes.
From 8 o'clock p.m.
8 o'clock p.m.
Is that right?
Audrey.
Did I say wrong? So what? What do you know?
You're just making on the, it's all good.
8 o'clock p.m. Same thing, guys. 2000.
Oh my gosh.
Honestly.
2000 hours, guys.
Yes.
Props.
Yes. Well, guys, wow. I think Audrey said it all. I'm literally like speechless. I don't think I can add anything on top of what Audrey just said, but it really is so refreshing just to see people like you just doing something. So there's literally no excuse.
Yeah.
You can't. There's no excuse anymore. Like, because there's people just like you doing something. So you've just got to move with the flow, really. Bless you guys, man. You lot are amazing. If you just joined the show, you just missed it.
Boo to you.
Yeah, literally. But no, that's fine. You can catch up on YouTube and on our Facebook page later. And this part of the show is where we leave something real, something meaningful, something to carry you through the remainder of the week. And it could be a word of wisdom, it could be a testimony, or even a poem. Audrey, what did you catch from today's show?
It was a lot.
Yeah,
There was a lot. I think the main thing I got was when you asked the question about the gap. And, you know, how do we kind of bridge this gap that just seems to be growing? About, you know, the rich and the poor. And I think one thing that Jasmine said was that if we influence the mind, there is no gap. And for me, that is what I took away with me, because I mean, a lot of times we just focus on what we see. What we see is what we take with us, is what we believe, and is what we walk in. And, you know, something as simple as influencing someone's mind, teaching them another way to do it.
Do you know what?
Finding
just go away. Go.
Finding ways of making people see themselves in a different way. You know, giving them that chance to be all that they can be closes the gap. And that's something I think we always look at the physical, like you were saying, what can we do physically to close the gap, when it's not a physical thing, it's a mental thing. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Angel, what did you take away from the show?
I'm just trying to just take everything in right now. It's been I think it's been more than an interview.
Yeah.
For me, it's been more than an interview, and I've learned so much. Literally, you guys have spoken to the soul. And what have I learned? I've learned that no matter what life throws at you, no matter how bad you think you've gone, or how deep you're into something, or whatever it is, you can still get back up. And that's literally what Jasmine has spoken today. She, bless her, she shared her testimony, and that was even probably just a brink of the iceberg. She didn't even go into detail. So if she were to go into DL tonight, and mate, it was just so refreshing to hear it. So it was just a word for the wise, really. No matter what you've been through, no matter what someone has put you through, and you know, you've been, maybe perhaps you were vulnerable, it wasn't your fault, and you feel like, well, this is what's happened to me, this is my life, I'm just X'd forever. It's a lie. Don't believe it. It's a lie. You can still get back up. And if you need a hand in getting back up, if you need someone to talk to, if you need a mentor, Sophia Group, that's why they're here. Sophia Community Group, they can get you back up. So that's what I've learned today. So we hope you enjoyed that, feeling all revitalized inside. No 2 Tuesdays are the same here on Happy Hour. So please share the love, tell a friend to tell a friend, and there are many ways you can do that.
That is correct. You can follow us on Instagram at Happy Hour Tuesdays. You can like our Facebook page, which is also Happy Hour Tuesdays. You can follow Angel on Twitter.
She is Angel B.
And please do subscribe to her YouTube page.
Please do.
Away with Angel.
Away with Angel.
Away with Angel. She's got an episode coming up, so
tomorrow.
So subscribe and watch it. You can follow me, Audrey, on Twitter at Miss Auds. Instagram, Facebook, Audrey. It's the same thing. You can purchase a copy of my book, 30 Day Cleanse, on Amazon for £8. Please do leave a review. Let me know what you thought, and keep following us to find out what's happening, who's coming in, anything you guys want to know that you did not get an opportunity to ask or share. Please do email us at info@happyhourtuesdays.com.
Yes, as always, we are bringing you your favorites on a Tuesday, but we know that 1 hour is simply not enough. Now we're streaming live on YouTube. Head over to COPUK Radio to catch up, or our Facebook page. If you would like to get into the studio for an interview, or you're an entrepreneur, you're a business person, you've got an upcoming event, whatever it is, we are the show for you. So just interview. No, just email us, info@happyhourtuesdays.com.
That is correct. We've come to the end of another show.
Yes.
We hope you actually, that it's not just about, you know, buying tickets, but actually taking something away with you. And please go to the show, please support, and let us know what you thought about it, and join us again in 2 weeks.
Yes.
On COPUK Radio.
Yes.
At 8 p.m. for another interview. I don't know, I just put like that, but
yes, and probably what we'll do is
Yes.
after your show, we would get you in for the aftermath just to talk about how it went, and then your subsequent projects that you've got coming up. You can finally reveal them. So we'll invite you back, definitely. Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoy your evening,
You too.
and we'll be back in next 2 weeks.
Yes, we're going to leave you with encourage yourself. Oh, how I do. Encourage yourself.
Sometimes you have to encourage yourself. Sometimes you have to speak victory during the test. And no